Okay. I'm reloaded. Yeah. Talk to him. It's the one, the only T-Dub. I'm back at it like a crack at it, giving you boxing geekers this work. Let's work. We are here. We are live. Rubbing my hands like Birdman. Rubbing my hands like Birdman. Rubbing my hands like Birdman. Let's go. Come on in. You know what to do. You know what to do. You know what to do. Greet the channel by smashing the like. Ring the doorbell by smashing the like. Let me know you're here. Smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to this cooking. I know you smell it. And your neighbors do too. Alright, let's get it. What? Yo, what up, guys? It's your boy T. That was Blazing the Sports. Hey, man, what's going on? How you guys doing? Out there in the What's Blazing the Sports land. Make sure it's okay. Alright, there we go. We showing. Am I friggy? I hope not. Okay. Alright, guys, let's talk about this, man. We got some boxing talk to talk about today, man. We got Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence Jr. This is beginning to sound like the Lamb Chop song. This is the song that never ends. Oh, it goes on and on, my friend. Some people continue singing and not knowing what it was, and they'll continue singing it forever just because it is a song that never ends. Spence and Crawford. Who is to blame? Is this a fight that would never happen? Is this the fight that could carry on like Mayweather and Pacquiao till 5-6 years down the line can some kind of way be bigger than what it is now? Will the fans accept that? Would you? Would you? Somebody said before the fans to buy whatever you give them. Will you buy it? Do you want it? When do you want it? A better question is, when would you accept it? In the building, the one, the only America's pastor travel in the building. T-Dub, what it do? My good brother, American Pastor Travel. Better yet, what it does. Now, guys, since I set this as an event, it would be probably 30 to 40 seconds delay from when I see something and actually can respond. So if you ask me a question in the chat, from the time I actually see it and read it, probably be a 30 to 40 second delay. Listen, man, we're going to talk about Terrence Crawford, Virgil Ortiz, Errol Spence Jr. We're going to talk about Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte said, listen, at my worst, I can beat Povetkin. Why you let that sink in like quicksand? Let's get at it. What up, guys? How was the weekend, man? Want to do a recap? Virgil Hunter? Look at Virgil Hunter. Virgil Ortiz beating Mo. Look, man, this was one that when I looked at this fight, Virgil Ortiz versus Maurice Hooker, even the day before, I said, listen, I got Ortiz taking this, right? So it's fight night come. I don't give my prediction early. You know how it is. I don't like to influence anybody because things can happen, right? T-Dub coming up here talking that smooth criminal boxing talk, and sometimes you can be almost going with Hooker, then T-Dub start whispering sweet nothings in your ear, and now you're going with Ortiz. So I kind of hold my stance until close to fight time. And this was one that many people was already saying that, listen, Hooker's going to win. Hooker's going to win. Hooker's going to win. Captain Hook. Well, he was Captain Hook. Ortiz was a rougher version of Peter Pan. Now, this was a damn good fight. I got to say, it was a good fight, but it was a fight that Ortiz was winning majority. But it was a good fight. Good fight. Good knockdowns, right? Battle of the Lone Star State, right? Still cool afterwards. Ortiz, Mo. Then we had some freak of an accident happen. fight had to end somewhere around the 6th, 7th round. He said, I told you, hey, listen, you're right, man. You're right. American Best Rapper, you're right. Listen, I got it right here, man. I have not changed this list yet. Got it right here, champ. Got it right here, champ. See, the one is right here. The people that got it right are right here. This is cemented in YouTube history forever. Forever. It's right there. And for a while, man, it was like it seemed like it was 5 people that was going with Hooker when it was only American Pastor Travel and then come DVH. Monday Solo in the building. What's up, champ? I no longer want to hear about Spence versus Crawford. I'm tired of that. Listen, man. This is what I said, right? I said that before some of you guys came in, that Errol Spence Jr. versus Terrence Crawford is starting to remind me of the Lamb Chop song. And I did my best variation of it, what I can remember. You remember the song, right? Lamb Chop? Listen, don't act like you never seen Lamb Chop before. I know you have. I know you have. You used to secretly watch it, right? But this is the song that never ends. Yes, it goes on and on, my friend. Some people started singing it, not knowing what it was, and they'll continue singing it forever just because it is the song, and it repeats and repeats and repeats. But now we are back at it again. Who's to blame? Terrence Crawford said that let me see what I said. That him versus Spence will never happen. Don't forget to smash that like button. I appreciate it. That was an entertaining fight. Mo Hooker will be back. I mean, listen, bro. It was a tough fight to take for his first fight at 147. It was a tough fight. He should have, I think he should have took about maybe 2 fights before taking on somebody like Virgil Ortiz, But let me talk about Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, and I'm going to try to chime in on both sides. Remember, guys, this isn't written. It's not scripted. I am back at it, like a crack at it, giving you boxing geekers this work. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's get this smoke. And then I'm going to talk about Dillian Whyte said he can beat Povetkin in his worst state. Then I would like to know, if you can beat him in your worst state, then what state was that where he beat you? Like, what state was that? Like, if your worst can beat him, that you had to be dead. You had to be an extra on The Walking Dead. Because he got that one. He beat that one. That means there got to be a stage. And this is crazy because typically when you say worst or best, there is nothing exceeding either one of those, right? So in his worst state, he can beat Povetkin. But some kind of way he lost to him already. So let's get it. Terrence Crawford, right, was at the DAZN fight. Watching Ortiz versus Hooker. They interviewed him. The interviewer said, listen, he said, like I told you. He said, like I told Errol Spence Jr., the only fight we want to see is Terrence Crawford. Pretty much trying to let Terrence Crawford know, honestly, we're on your side about getting you the fight. Trying to get you to say something like, yeah, he ducking me, make the fight happen, blah, 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 blah. A lot of times the interviewers, when they tell you what they say first, they're trying a lot of times lead you down that same path that they're down, or to a way that they want you to answer to get a reaction out of you that they want to be able to predict. Initially, Monday Solo says initially Spence was ducking, but Crawford didn't seem capitalized and calling him out and chasing him. He should have gone hood on Spence, so I'm both at fault. Both don't deserve my view unless it's 50-50 fight. 50-50 fight what? For money? Or 50-50 fight if they actually fight? That was sleep state for Dillian Whyte. That was sleep state. That was high on narcotics, passed out. Dillian Whyte. If the worst state can beat Povetkin, that had to be high on narcotics. Binge drinking all night, smoking Swisher Sweets with shades on, passed out. Dillian Whyte. Mountain Solo, I like Dillian, I like White, but B level, B plus at best. I am favoring Povetkin to knock him out again. What was that sound? Okay. Here we go. Let's get it. Let's get it. So, who is the fault? Who is at fault with Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr.? Who's at fault? Let's see. Let's see. Terrence Crawford is saying he's done with it, right? He's done. And then on the Errol Spence Jr. side, he's saying he going to take the 70-30 or 80-20 or whatever else we offer him. Think about it, right? See, whenever somebody says something, you got to look at the way they actually say it. Ascending or descending order. So when he says, when he got to take 70-30 or 80-20 or whatever, right? It's typically you going down, 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 or whatever we offer him, right? And so obviously this does not sit well with Terrence Crawford. Now Terrence Crawford said, listen, you see who ducking, don't talk about him to me anymore. He doesn't want this fight. Who's to blame? There was a time when Terrence Crawford probably could have signed with the PBC, but he re-signed with Top Rank. Who's to blame? Can we force him not to sign with Top Rank, to sign with PBC? No. Would it have been better fight-wise for his career? Because I don't know about financially. I don't know how that would have worked out. But fight-wise, at least we hoped if he would have signed with the PBC, what we have seen, Terrence Crawford versus Danny Garcia, Errol Spence, Sean Porter, let's see who else who I'm thinking about. Keith Thurman, Ugas. What I do believe this, that in a fantasy world where he would have not signed with Top Rank and signed with PBC, guys, listen, I tell you guys all the time, I don't take sides with PBC or Top Rank because they don't pay me. But I'm telling you right now, if they said, hey, T-Dub, we're going to pay you 6 figures a year to take our side. Listen, I'm telling you right now, T-Dub will be doing narrator pushing like, oh, you know, PBC is the best. You got to do it. Nothing else is better, blah, blah, blah. But as of now, T-Dub is 100% independent. I survive and thrive off of likes, subscriptions, super chats, memberships, and cash apps. This is what I think, honestly. I think both of these guys are trying to play like they don't need the other. Because when one of them acts like they need the other, they're always calling out, right? Think about this, right? It sounds good that Terrence Crawford calls out Errol Spence Jr. But in reality, he doesn't have any power. He can call out Earl all day and say, Earl, all right, I take 20%. I just want to fight. F it. Let's do it. Bob going to tell Terrence Crawford, fucking idiot. You don't make no decisions around here. We're not taking 80-20. He doesn't really have the control on his side. It only sounds good on his side for the most part. Now, I do believe maybe he has some small say with who he's fight, but I think overall, I think Top Rank pretty much runs a lot of it. Errol Spence Jr. might have more control because he is under his own banner, Man Down Promotions, and he is working with a manager. So he doesn't have to pay a promotional company. Everything I hear about PBC from fighters about them getting money, it's been good. I talked to Devin Alexander, who is from St. Louis. You can find May in St. Louis. He said, listen, man, I mean, the way he talk about Al, he said Al really cares about the fighters, right? When I talk to him, you can see that he lights up. He cares about the fighter. And he's not taking money like that. And they bringing home a lot of their money. Who's to blame? Somebody's going to take blame. Even though this would be like Pacquiao and Mayweather. 90% of people blame Mayweather, but to be honest, it shouldn't be that way. He did some, Pacquiao did some. They share the blame, but most people always blame Mayweather. Look what Mayweather did about Pacquiao. Look what Mayweather did about that. Look what Mayweather. Look what Mayweather. Look what Mayweather. I tell you one thing, man. Top Rank got a way of putting blame on certain people. Now, when you talk about splitting the pot, I don't get a lot of dab in their business. But me personally, I think at welterweight, Errol Spence Jr. probably deserve the lion's share. A lion's share doesn't mean all of it. Doesn't mean all of it. It just means that if there's a tip where somebody gets more, I think he should get it. Now, at 140 pounds, Terence Crawford did an amazing job. Bob Arum crafted it amazingly to go around and collect either the mother boxes or the Finley stones, and he united, right? He did what the Justice League was doing. He united 140. But since he's been at 147, his career it hasn't been going up the same. Honestly, his career at 147 has been kind of like, it's level, then get a little bump, then a little bump. He is not going up because he is not getting the competition. But when you look at Errol Spence Jr., he is getting the competition. Now, if this was where Terence Crawford was still at 140 and he had just united to 7, right? He just became undisputed. And then you got Errol Spence Jr., who just got 2 or 3 titles. And then they want to do a super fight. 50-50. 50-50 at that point, honestly. 50-50. But time is going by. And when one guy is continually fighting, name fighters, big fights, pay-per-view successful fights, it's starting to tip in that guy's favor. Again, if this would have took place back when Terence Crawford was moving up to 140, I'm just doing some crazy hypothetical. Terence Crawford, he's conquering 140, right? Boom, 2, 3 titles, just united to 7, right? I know it ain't 7 titles, just the league. You get what I'm saying, right? He just united the division, right? Boom, right? Then Errol Spence Jr., right? Just 1 or 2 titles, will probably be Ugas, got 3 titles now. And they want to do a super fight. 50-50. Boom, let's get it, right? Let's get it. But it didn't happen like that, right? It didn't happen like that. Terence Crawford united 140, moved up to 147, still hot as fish grease. Beat Jeff Horn, who beat Manny Pacquiao, still hot as fish grease. Now we're looking for those fights. And someone's to blame that he hasn't fought a true marquee name at 147. Someone's to blame. And even when you think about Virgil Ortiz versus Maurice Hooker, he says, Virgil is too green, and he's not ready, and he's not next. He's not the mandatory. And I'm going to agree with him. If he fights Terence Crawford next, he will get his ass waxed off, buffered down to the smoothness. Virgil would do okay. But I don't see Virgil doing a better job than Sean Porter at coming forward with pressure. I don't see that. I don't see that. I don't see that. I see Virgil Ortiz taking on Terrence Crawford. Will get his ass operated on. He'll get his battleship sunk. But he did turn down that fight, which right now Ortiz does have a little bit of light. And I don't think he want to fight Sean Porter next. So the question is, who does he really fight? I'm hearing Jose Cito Lopez. Let's go to the chat. Let's go to the chat. NyQuil White. My name Solo is going back to when I said that, and I'm going to talk about Dillian Whyte too. He is going back to when I said that Dillian Whyte said that he can beat Povetkin at his worst. Well, if at your worst you can beat him, then what the hell was it that night when he beat you? Mono Solo called him NyQuil White. American Private Travel called him Sleep State for Dillian Whyte. I call him bitch drinking, high, up all night Dillian Whyte. Let's see. Let's get it. American Private Travel, Stephen A. and Max Kellerman say that the promoters are at fault with Crawford versus Spence. But here's the thing: there's two promoters. There is Top Rank and Man Down Promotion. Those are the promotion companies. Al Heyman is not a promotional company. He's a manager. I believe he presents his fighters the best opportunity, and then the fighters, I think, pick. But he's not a promotional company. He does not get a promotional split. He is just a manager, I believe, and just get a manager split. Errol Spence Jr. fights under Man Down Promotion with Al Heyman as his manager. Terrence Crawford fights under Top Rank Promotions. And again, guys, Terrence Crawford, I don't see how it's not visine clear that he doesn't call the shots. It does sound good, and we do need it. We do need him saying, don't duck me, Spence. Don't duck me. You know what I'm saying? We need that. We need him saying that. Look at this coward. See, that's what he should do. Look at this coward talking about 70-30, 80-20. He trying to financially duck out of this. He shouldn't be man down. He should be man ducking. I want the smoke. He doesn't want the smoke. He trying to price himself out. That's what he should say. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. But that's not what he's saying. He is trying to do, or him and Errol Spence Jr. are doing the same thing, different verbiage. Let me explain. Errol Spence Jr. is saying, I'll fight Terrence Crawford, but he has to take 70-30, 80-20, or whatever else we offer him. Or whatever we offer him, right? He playing that big dog, right? We the one running this. You take what you get. You take crumbs, pigeon. You take crumbs. You take the air. You take that. You take what you deserve, because you don't deserve shit. So, but on the flip side, Terrence Crawford is playing like, okay, I'm not going to call him out anymore. I'm going to play like I don't need him. I'm done with it. So both sides play like we're done with each other. It just got that. I don't need him. I don't need him. He take this. I ain't taking that. I'm taking this. That's what we got. That's what we got. That's what it is now. That's what it is. And then even if Terrence Crawford said, okay, I'll take it, he can't take it unless Bob Arum says you take it. Because Bob going to tell him, no, you take what I tell you to take. When Deontay Wilder was trying to fight Anthony Joshua. And Anthony Joshua said, listen, if you give me $50 million up front, I sign the fight tomorrow. Deontay Wilder went solid, spoke to Al, spoke to Showtime. They came up with $50 million up front. But remember, Wilder doesn't have a promotional company. He went to the people that was backing him. His manager to work on the deal and Showtime to work on the deal. From what I know. I might not be 100% right. Just going on what I know. Terrence Crawford can't do that. He has a promotional company. Terrence Crawford cannot demand or accept anything. He can't demand 60-40 and he cannot accept 80-20 against him. Everything goes through Bob. What we get from Terrence Crawford is, and what we need from Terrence Crawford is to show us as a fighter that you want him. To show us as a fighter, he is ducking you. But if you're saying, no, I'm done, it looks like everybody's ducking shots, but nobody's shooting. Everybody's ducking shots, but nobody's shooting. All right, let's go to the chat. Mane Solo says, I'm blaming both Crawford for not going and acting like old Thurman, saying you better not duck me, son, and Spence for acting like he too big when his biggest fight is Crawford. Kind of a little bit what I said, but the person that has the biggest fights at 147 is Errol Spence Jr. Thus far. Shit, 6 figures a year and I become a spokesperson for PBC or ESPN. Mine Solo referring to me, he said, listen, listen guys, I'm not loyal to a network. Because I would say a 99.99999, like you are the father, don't know who I am. So I'm not about to be loyal to you. Unless you pay me 6 figures. And then I will be loyal, but I'm not finna just shit on somebody. But I'll be loyal. American Pastor Travel, smash that like button, yes sir. Mano Solo, definitely Spence is the A side. 60-40 is fair, and Crawford should take that. I do believe. 60-40, 55-45, 50-50. I agree with it. I agree with it. 80-20, I don't agree. 70-30, I don't agree. Mano Solo, Golden Girl won't put Ortiz in her butt. Listen, I saw afterwards where Oscar De La Hoya went online, like Terrence Crawford had them contact me. Like whenever a promoter goes onto a public platform and tells somebody else to tell somebody to contact them, that's all talk. That's all show. It's all smokes and mirrors. If you really want the fight to happen, you do that in private. You do that in the private stage. You don't go to social media so all millions of people and thousands of people can see it. Oh, look, Oscar really want to make it happen. Look what he's saying. That's all it is. Oscar don't want to risk Virgil Ortiz because if he risks Virgil Ortiz after losing Canelo, he would be down to just Ryan Garcia. Tell me I'm lying. Damn, T-Dub, Crawford needs to hire you as his mouthpiece. Christopher Jordan in the building. What's up, Jim? How you been, bro? Been a minute, man. Said thanks for keeping it real, T-Dub, because they are twisting boy words when Spence did the same thing. Listen, bro, I think they are playing with different, they using different verbiage, but they're doing the same thing. I'm going with the old man. I understand Spence is doing better numbers, but you can't make a man take anything he don't agree with. Where do they do that at? Sounds like pocket watching. Smash the like button. Christopher Jordan. All right, champ, here we go. You cannot make a man take anything. You don't get a fight. Even when you're dealing with mandatories, mandatories deserve a certain amount of split. But I do believe, looking at the body of work that both guys been fighting at 147, Errol Spence Jr., in my opinion, should get the lion's share. Lion's share doesn't mean 80%, 90%. I don't know. I don't think so. But I'm just saying, to me, this is a fight that sounds 60-40. It just sounds really good to me. It sounds really good. And even if Errol Spence Jr. beat Ugas, I still think it's 60-40. The only difference would be is that Errol Spence Jr. would have made more money building up to that fight than Terrence Crawford would have made building up to that fight. Terrence Crawford, matter of fact, I'm going to pull up his box rec. Last time it wasn't working. Terrence Crawford. I'm going to do both of them. If it pulls up today, let's see. Come on now. Don't play with me. All right, Terrence Crawford. Now let's do Errol Spence. All right, let's see. Smash the like button, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you have not. Remember, consider joining the channel as well. We are doing a free shirt giveaway for the Canelo versus Billy Joe Saunders fight. You got to be here that night. You have to be a member of the channel or a moderator. I would prefer a member. You can jump in. Hey, shout out to my girl, Poetic Kills. Listen, Poetic Kills was a heat seeker at $1.99. She upgraded her membership to a Pyromaniac $4.99. Thank you. Thank you, Poetic. I saw that. Thank you. All right, let's see. So, let's look at, this is Errol Spence Jr. body of work at 147, right? Jeff Horn, Benavidez Jr., Khan, Mean Machine, Kell Brook. That's going back from 2017. Now, if I look at Errol Spence Jr. body of work from 2017, we have a younger Kell Brook, Lamont Peterson, Ocampo, Mikey Garcia, Sean Porter, Danny Garcia. That's a pretty good resume. To me, it's missing like Keith Thurman, you know, missing a Thurman. I mean, to really be like killer Thurman Pacquiao, you know, but everybody wants that. I believe that Earl should get the 60%. I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe he did bigger numbers in comparing these fights I just named. I think he is, I'm guessing, he done built a better resume at 147 and probably made a little bit more income at 147, especially if you go on pay-per-view buys. Errol Spence Jr., what he did at pay-per-view versus whenever Terrence Crawford went on pay-per-view. But like I said, when the fight come down to it, I don't care if Errol has 2 belts or 3 belts. I think 60-40 is a fair split. 50-50, they want to do it. 65-45, I'm down with it. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? Let's see. I give up on the fight. Facts, I'm just tired of all the Bud hate. 100% facts, T-Dub, because Bud's best win is Jeff Horn and washed up quitter Kell Brook. Cosmic Legend, what's up, champ? I don't understand why these fighters don't fight now in the prime. Because everybody is trying. This is what I think they're doing. They're not like the old days to where it was fight the best, be the best, and if you lose, you can fight 2 or 3 times and still go down as one of the best, right? Sugar Ray Leonard, Hadler, Hagler. I'm sorry, I'm butchering it. Hearn, Ali. All these guys are considered the best. But since Floyd Mayweather pitched a perfect record, 50-0, everybody is trying to do that, and they're taking whoever the toughest fight can be, and they feel that they can build up to be the most amount of money. Not saying it's both of them, or it could be both of them, or it could be promoters just not making it work. A lot of people got to take some blame on this. It might have to be like a pie, and everybody got to get a slice of this blame. But they kind of prolonging it. They prolong it and try to build a fight. Nothing is about now anymore. It's about the future. It's not about Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence now what it can generate. It's about what they can generate in the future. But you make us boxing fans think it is always one fight away, when in reality, it is not one fight away. Every time they get through with a fight, they're going to act like they want to fight, and they're going to fight somebody else. It's about they're looking at the long haul, but things happen. We didn't even get Joshua versus Wilder. In my opinion, I think Wilder really wanted that smoke. I think Hearn and Joshua really didn't want the smoke. They wanted to prolong it, and they wanted to try to get as many wins and give Wilder less money as possible, and then try to make the fight somewhere down the line. I honestly believe that even if Wilder didn't lose to Fury, that they still wouldn't be fighting. And I don't believe that it'd be on Wilder's part. Sometimes sometimes one group take the blame. Sometimes it can be shared. It just depends on the group. Let's keep getting it. These older fighters aren't getting any younger. They are wasting time. I think the older one, let me see. Let's look at it. And I apologize if you just now hear me read, and whenever the time you said it, it's probably going to be a 40-second delay on top of that. I apologize. I try to cook a little bit, but I try not to forget about the chat. Let's see. Errol Spence Jr. is actually 31. So he is like almost right at prime or about to hit prime. He is almost right at prime or about to hit prime. And Terrence Crawford is 33. That's kind of prime. That is kind of right there at it. 32, 33. That's kind of right there at prime. The contract should be whoever wins the fight gets 60%. To me, I think this. In that case, it has to be a truly 50-50 fight. They both are accomplished and everybody really view it as a 50-50 matchup. And then they said, well, I think I'm so sure I can beat you. I'm sure I can beat you. Well, how about you do the winner take this? I'm that confident. But again, this is money. This is not just fighting, it's a business. So I don't blame trying to negotiate what you think your worth is. That's the thing. I cannot tell someone not to negotiate what your worth is. I can't tell Errol Spence Jr. God, I haven't even cooked on. I got to cook on Povetkin. But let me get through this. I cannot tell Errol Spence Jr. to say all this body work you putting in, taking on the tougher task at 147. You should not ask for lion share. You should go in 50-50 and the winner takes the bigger lion share. No, I mean I don't. I think he's entitled to argue he get the lion's share, but I do not believe it should be 70-30 or 80-20. That's my belief. Don't get mad at me because I don't control it. Just giving you my opinion. I don't control it. Let's see. Yep, 60-40 to Spence. It's only right. Ronnie, what's up, champ? How old are both fighters? Just gave you that, champ. All right. Now, I should have made it just one topic, but let's touch on. Smash the like button, guys. Get the like up. You just now came in, hit that like. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about. Let's save that. Remember, guys, if you want to be a Cash App champ, I know you like super chatting, and it's good. Your name goes up on the screen. But if you want to have your name represented right next to T Dub right here, right where Lola does her dancing at, all you have to do is hit the Cash App. Was blazing, nothing too little, nothing too great. Have your name pop up, bam, right there. So, all right, let's do this. What's this star? Okay, let's do this. Give me a second, guys. Checking something. Okay. Just want to make sure. All right, here we go. Dillian Whyte is taking on Alexander Povetkin. Rematch this weekend. I will be live. I will be back at it. I could crack at it. Giving you boxing geekers this work. The rematch is here. It's more hype than the first time. For one reason and one reason only. For a spectacular, blazing worthy knockout that Povetkin pulled off. It feels like out of a magician pulling a rabbit out of a hat over Dillian Whyte with a sonic boom out of Yugen tiger uppercut and laid him out. In the first fight, Whyte dropped him twice. He got up. The very next round, 3 seconds later. Right? Like, the only thing was missing for the knockout was a Bruce Lee sound. Whyte should have stood there, right? When Povetkin hit with the uppercut and Dillian Whyte fell, you guys remember that look that Bruce Lee had on Enter the Dragon? Whatever the dude name was fighting, right? That was trying to make his sister kill herself. And he turned around and he jumped in the dude like neck or chest and had a look on his face. Povetkin should have done that, man. Povetkin should have threw that jab, slipped over. As Dillian Whyte laid there. And just walked back to his corner. Slow motion. That would have been dope. Jesus Christ, follower in the building. What's up, Chip? Dylan the dope. He said Dylan the dope fiend. Shooting dope who don't know the meaning of water in our soap. Cosmic legend. Doesn't Crawford have the leverage seeing as he is considered the pound for pound mini list? He's a pound for pound fighter based on his skills. But when you look at what is actually accomplished at his current weight, I think Spence has the leverage. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking Crawford. I am a Crawford fan. And I'm trying to give you guys, listen guys, I'm not perfect. And it's an opinion. And you can agree or disagree. And if you disagree, bring your smoke. Bring your smoke. But behind your smoke, you better have some fire. Because I'm ready. But it's just an opinion, you know. Terrence Crawford should be considered pound for pound. He is up there. Phenomenal boxer. He impresses me the way he thinks and adapts and attacks, and I'm impressed. He is that good. Still get hit with some shots he shouldn't get hit with, but it's boxing. Nobody's perfect. Even when you're that good, you're not perfect. And that's what makes boxing great. Because when you're not perfect, you're one shot away from winning to losing. So Dillian Whyte said that in his worst state, this was recently. in his worst state, the worst version of Dillian Whyte could be a Parker. He said the worst version of him could be Parker. I'm saying this. Parker got to be like, God damn, that motherfucker, he got amnesia. Does he not remember he is coming off a loss? He is sitting on an L? If the worst version of you can beat me, then what the hell was that they fought me? Comatose? Like, what version was that? Like, what were you on, bro? Was that surfboard White? I'm just saying, man. But it does look like WBC, I believe they have picked sides. WBC, in my opinion, they are going with the Tyson Fury side. They are putting it out there publicly that we support what you're doing. We recognize what's going on, and we are publicly putting it out there that we are not only not trying to stand in the way of Undisputed, but we are trying to even push Wilder to stop the arbitration to fight Dillian Whyte. Because WBC said, well, basically what Wilder should do, he should fight Dillian Whyte for the mandatory position. WBC, how can you even speak such words when Dillian Whyte is coming off of a loss? He is sitting on a L. And that L is treating him like he's at a rodeo, and it's like a bull. He can't stay on, he's on the, he got his arm up in an L shape, trying to stay on that L. And I gotta tell you one thing, that bull ain't threw him off yet. Because as currently as I know, until they fight, Dillian Whyte is still sitting on that L. That motherfucker be held at the rodeo. They're trying to push Wilder to fight Dillian Whyte, but Dillian Whyte needs to beat Povetkin, and Povetkin stands a good chance of repeating what he did the first time. Let's get them lights up. Let me see. Mine is solo. I like Whyte, but I think his chin is in question. He's been dropped multiple times and destroyed by AJ and got out of body experience by Povetkin. I just can't trust his chin. I'm going for Povetkin. Hey, listen, I'll show you. Let me see. Let me get the picture real quick. Let's go to image. Bow. And listen, man, I appreciate you guys, joining the chat. Listen, man, I ain't MT-Dub. I know I'm the one that decides when the channel go live and cook. But you are the guys that, honestly, when you come into the chat, right, you communicating or you watching without speaking, that's throwing logs on the fire. And I just want to let you guys know, man, it's very much appreciated. And like I said, it can be one person in here, 10 people in here, or the most I ever had was 14,000 at one time, 3,000 subscribers, damn near overnight. I'm going to give you the best cooking no matter what. You would never come to my channel and be like, oh, man, T-Dub only had 2 people in here. He wasn't trying to cook. Get out of here. I'm like grandma's house at Sundays. No matter who show up, she cooking. And you better get a plate. If you miss out, you missing out. Let's work. All right. So, let's see. Dillian Whyte. Outer body experience. Thought I had an image somewhere. I'm looking for it. Oh, here we go. Well, ain't even a good one, but here we go. Look at this, man. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Guys, that was after he had just got hit with that uppercut. Look at it. Look. When you know you hit somebody so hard that Dillian Whyte eyes is not even looking at Povetkin. Dillian Whyte eyes is like everything just, Look at the back of his neck, man, right here. Like that's all bunched up now. Ronnie said, "You the best." Thanks, man. I appreciate it, champ. Charles, what's up, champ? Hey, that's my boy, man, bro. Why don't you have a Hold on, man, Charles. Let me get my boy a wrench, man. Hold on. That's my boy, man. Hold up. There you go, Charles. Man, that's my boy, homeboy, Charles, man. We talk a lot of smack, but that's my dog, man. Shout out to Charles in the building. Shout out to his little man, Mikey. What's up, Mikey? What's up, champ? Colin, what's up, dog? Says Dillian Whyte has stamina issues that he needs to work on. Listen, Dillian Whyte, man. Even when I watched the first fight, I'm not even sure. I'm not even talking about stamina. I just think, I don't know, man. It's like he was doing okay early on, but still, I wasn't impressed. Like, it's crazy. Even with him dropping Povetkin, I wasn't impressed. And sometimes he'd wing some shots. I just wasn't impressed. And I told people then, I said, listen, man, Povetkin, I said, some things are in Dillian Whyte's favor. But he could lose to Povetkin, man. I said, Povetkin is a better boxer. He only has one loss. Yes, he is older. Yes, he is slower, but he's a better boxer. Still a better boxer than Dillian Whyte. He was a better boxer that night, even though, well, he knocked him out, of course. But Dillian Whyte has been chinned. Let's run down his resume. Anthony Joshua dropped him, knocked him out. I think Parker dropped him. Did Chisora drop him? I don't remember. Chisora might have dropped him. Maybe. Oscar Rivas dropped him. And now Povetkin dropped him. And Dillian Whyte said, listen, he said going into this first fight, he really wasn't as motivated or, hyped about it. But he's more hyped about this second fight. I'm being honest. He's not more hyped about the second fight. He's more scared about the second fight. See, when you first fight somebody, right, and your confidence is up, you think you can beat them, right? That's when you're feeling like confident, right? You think you can beat them. But when somebody go out there and knock you out, and you know they can knock you out, and you know they can throw shots that you don't see coming, you're not hyped about that. You're cautious about that. You're worried about that. You're trying to prevent that. A lot of things going on in your mind. But he can overcome. It is a fight. He can win. Even though Povetkin knocked him out, he can win the rematch. We just got to see what shows up. Let me see. In that picture, Whyte looks like he's having an out-of-body experience, bro. Like, listen. It's like if he got hit with that uppercut, his body did like that, but the soul just kept going, right? Like, boo! All right, guys, let me get out of here, man. I appreciate you guys cooking with me. We've been cooking for close to an hour. If you have not already, subscribe to the channel. Share the channel. If you got some boxing friends, tell them come over here. Either give smoke or agree. It doesn't matter. It's cool with me. And just when I was about to go, my boy, Jesus Christ follower coming in. And it didn't even show up over here. Why didn't it show up? Coming in, putting 4 logs on the fire just to keep the blaze burning. Listen, man, I'm glad you guys like this cooking, man. I'm glad you guys like it, man. I'm going to keep cooking. I'll be back probably tomorrow. Definitely the weekend. To take care of all. Listen, shout out to my boy Jesus Christ Father. I much appreciation, man. And just for you, champ, I'm gonna give these thunder hips by my girl. What's my music? There we go.
Yeah. What?
What did I close out? And all right, guys. Thank you, guys. much appreciation. If you missed a moment of the show,
What?
it ain't over yet for you. Go back, rewind, get some popcorn, get some napkins, and enjoy the cooking. Until next time, here is What's Blazing in Sports. Take us out, Lola.
What? Yeah. What?
What? Let's get it.
Yeah.
Party every time I'm around. Let's get it.